Piers, I think we should address something, on the topic of numbers and, these big, important, historically loaded terms like genocide, like apartheid, like famine. Let's revisit, and I think that there's people who have been claiming and saying that there's famine in Gaza. Famine was declared by the IPC, I believe, on August 22nd. Now, a friend of mine has done the numbers on it, and I think it's important to be specific here because there are definitions, and when you say famine, that means something. When a UN organization claims that there's famine somewhere, that's supposed to be backed up by data and by reality. Now, according to the numbers and statistics and the globally accustomed numbers of the IPC, which they follow, they issued a declaration that on August 22nd, there's famine in certain parts of Gaza. By their own numbers of level 4 and 5, emergency and famine, there should have been 9,500 dead Palestinians by malnutrition, not natural deaths, not combat, not pre-existing conditions. 9,500 dead Palestinians since August 22nd. You know how many there really have been? According to Hamas numbers, 191. That's 98% off. Now, I challenge you and I challenge everybody who have been screaming and were part of the starvation campaign and the famine, all of the other nonsense that we heard with UN regalia attached to it. At the end of the day, it's a fake, it's lies, it is not supported by reality. It's make-believe and it is propaganda against Israel that useful idiots who have no bearing on the situation on the ground are parroting just because it is a weapon
but you
against
wouldn't dispute,
Israel.
Jonathan.
It is untrue, it is not factual.
Okay, but hang on,
right?
Hang on, but Jonathan, you wouldn't dispute that there was a near 3-month blockade of substantial amounts of food and aid. I mean, that was indisputable. That happened.
There were indeed months where not a lot was coming in, yes.
Right. But
that's true. But the important part, Piers, but the important part is what was the result? The important part is, okay, that was done by Israel and it was said by Israeli leadership. It was challenged by the defense establishment and there were a lot of internal discussions. But at the end of the day, when UN-affiliated organizations declared famine and every journalist, editor, media personality and talking heads repeated that as if that was gospel, nobody looks at the numbers. And even today, a month and a half after that, is anybody held accountable for these libelous, false, grotesque claims?